So, this is a surprise to some people and not to others, but the leaks are out for My Hero Academia Manga Chapter 211, and let's just say that this is going to be making a whole lot of people happy because we're getting more of the fight and the final battle between Deku and Tomura, and you'll get to see why this is spectacular in just a little bit. But first, right after this. Hey guys, how's it going? It is your boy, Manga Man Drew, and I'm here to cover the leaks for My Hero Academia Manga Chapter 211. Yes, this is something that I kind of predicted was going to happen, kinda. I actually knew that most likely than not, the leaks will be coming out, if not this week, at the start of the next year, but yeah, that's just how it rolls. For those who may not know, the reason why the leaks are coming out now is most likely because the actual Shonen Jump manga has already been produced, as well as shipped to the stores right before the actual holiday break occurred. So that's why we're getting the leaks now. But this means that the next 2 weeks after this, we won't be getting any more leaks, most likely than not. But that's besides the point. This chapter is going to be fantastic from what we see with the leaks, primarily because we're going to be focusing on the fighting actually between Deku and Tomura, and getting to get a little bit more conflict to what it means to be the user of One for All and All for One in this modern age, as well as when it comes to the ideologies of both of these characters, most likely be expanded a little bit more from the leaks. So let's just dive right into the leaks and really talk about what this chapter is going to be about. And to start off, we get the start of the chapter on a flashback where Yoichi says that this is now officially a successor battle. He says that they have to defeat Tomura, and Nana looks conflicted. Banjo says that overcoming the regeneration will be their biggest challenge. A giant hand then appears inside the vestige world. Shinomori then sacrifices himself to protect the other vestiges, getting absorbed by Shigaraki. Shigaraki says, "So this is the part of the power that my master struggled so much to steal." And Shinomori's chair gets decayed and Banjo is surprised. And just to talk about the first part of the text spoilers, this is pretty much just a flashback to what we got from the last chapter, where we saw the moment where Banjo conveys to Deku that, oh my gosh, he stole and Danger Sense, and we get the confirmation in this chapter that yes, Shigaraki did steal Danger Sense, but what's interesting about it is that he tried to steal the all of One for All, but because Shinomori was able to intervene, they were only able to take one of the quirks inside of One for All. So it's very interesting to see that potentially what this battle is going to be is a battle of One for All and All for One, as stated by Yoichi in this chapter, and how potentially Shigaraki is going to be stealing the quirks one after another, and that this is going to potentially be very detrimental to Deku, especially losing Danger Sense, which was the main reason why he did not sustain that much damage throughout all of this conflict. But going into the next chunk of the text spoilers, we have Deku mixes Black Whip, Fajin, and Gear Shift to use Black Chanic, but Shigaraki dodges it with Danger Sense. So that's how you've been doing all of my attacks. So that's how you've been dodging all of my attacks. Shigaraki goes to attack Deku and mocks him for the "I can't pretend I didn't see you crying" line. That's not me anymore. You're still treating me as a human being? Deku protects himself with Black Whip, but his mask breaks. The mask All Might got back from me after I dropped it. They're now right next to Mount Fuji. Shinomori says that the quirks getting stolen won't decrease One for All's base strength because that's stored on the quirk itself, not a quirk factor. In says that they should run because Shigaraki can just steal all of them in the blink of an eye. And this is very interesting. I don't know if Shinomori is actually still inside of the vestige world of One for All, or saying this inside of All for One to Deku due to the connections that they have, but we're seeing that Deku at this moment is unable to actually damage Tomura at this moment due to the fact that he now has the Danger Sense, which means that any attacks that he Shigaraki can throw at Tomura at this moment, Tomura will be able to dodge, unless this is going to be foreshadowing for Deku attacking Tomura without any malice, which we're probably going to get that set up in a little bit later on in the links, but overall we're going to be getting a lot more action, and the fact that they are now changing locations and now they're more closer inland than they were prior due to most likely the destruction that Tomura caused when it came to potentially decaying the city and waves coming in and crashing in. This is going to be very interesting to see like how this battle is going to pan out more and more as we see more of the conflict between Deku and Tomura, and getting to see the full extent of how Deku will be able to survive Tomura without his quirks potentially. But now we're approaching more towards the end of the spoilers, and from what we see, this is going to be a little bit shorter of a chapter, with the final parts of the text spoilers saying that Shigaraki says, "I can see you, Ghost. You got stronger because you kept running away, right? So I'll destroy all of you right now." He says that he'll turn everything into a giant wasteland, like Spinner wanted, and this destruction will start at Mount Fuji. Shigaraki is smiling and enjoying the moment. Banjo says that if he destroys Mount Fuji, lava will come out and make it even worse. In says that Shigaraki isn't just All for One's successor, he's destruction itself. Deku says, still, there's a reason for all of this. He thinks back to his talk with Ochako and smiles, saying, "You're still human." He's smiling and covering his arms with Black Whip, preparing to attack as Shigaraki's danger sense activates. End of chapter. So yeah, from the last part of the chapters, we see that this is going to potentially be a grander battle than just Deku trying to avoid being attacked by Tomura Shigaraki. He has to also make sure that Tomura doesn't decay Mount Fuji and cause a whole bunch of lava to spew out of it, because if those who don't know, yeah, Mount Fuji is a literal active volcano, most likely within the world of My Hero Academia, but definitely in the world that we live in right now. So if that thing goes off due to decay, yeah, a whole bunch of people in Japan are probably going to die, if not a lot of people around the world, because it's a massive volcano that could do a lot of damage, not just to Japan, but, you know, surrounding areas. So that's going to be very interesting. But what's even more interesting is the implication of Deku still viewing Tomura as human as he attacks him, and most likely than not, Danger Sense does go off, but potentially later on in the fight, as Deku still views Tomura as human, even though he may be pounding him into the ground, he may not do it with any kind of malice. So that's going to be interesting to see where that's going to go. But yeah, this is pretty much the end of the chapter. This seems to be a shorter chapter, most likely due to the fact that it is the winter holiday and that this is primarily fighting. But overall, from what I've seen with the leaks, I think that this is going to be a very fantastic chapter when it's translated, which is most likely going to be later this week. So hopefully you can wait for my more proper review at that time. But yeah, that's all I have to say for the leaks itself. Let me ask you this: what did you think of the leaks? Do you like this chapter? Do you dislike this chapter? And do you think that you're just going to be happy seeing more conflict between Deku and Tomura? Leave your thoughts down below, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more content like this. Do all that cool jazz, and hopefully I'll be able to catch you in my next video. And hopefully y'all had a happy holidays. Goodbye!